The government's office polished floors reflected the ceiling fans in dizzying circles. Abiyo's water-stained boots left faint muddy prints as he marched inside. His shirt clung to his back, still damp from the latest flood, the smell of the river rising from his clothes. The clerk behind the desk looked up. "I need to speak to whoever's in charge," he said, slapping his palm on the counter. The sound echoed. A few heads turned in the waiting area, and some faces he recognized. Uchehi, his neighbor, sat slumped in the chair, picking at a hole in his knee-high rubber waders. Two women from the downstream village clutched their folders, swollen with waterlogged documents. They all bore the same markings: hems stiff with dried silt, coarse-ringed with the high-water lines of the river's rage. The clerk gestured to the rating room. "Please take a number and wait." Adebayo's throat tightened. "We've been waiting. Do you know what happened out there?" "My yam seedlings." A shadow loomed to his left. The security guard's bicep strained against his sleeve, his neck thicker than Adebayo's thigh. Adebayo's protest died mid-breath. He snatched the number ticket and retreated to the chairs, pulse hammering. Uchehi snorted as Adebayo sat beside him. "You were ready to fight all of them, eh?" He gestured to the guard, laughing. "Even him?" Adebayo wiped his brow. "I came to argue with the mayor, not these errand runners." He adjusted his posture, trying to salvage dignity, but the chair's plush cushion swallowed him whole. The absurdity of it. Air conditioning chilling his sweat while his children's school books floated in the river water back home. Uchehi leaned close. "They replaced my mattress last week. Now it's ruined again." He pulled a cracked phone from his pocket, showing a photo, brown water lapping at the bed frame like a hungry animal. "They keep saying climate change, like it's an excuse to do nothing." A murmur rippled through the room as the side door opened. A woman stepped out. Tailored slacks, a tablet in hand, her hair coiled in precise braids. The mayor's representative. Adebayo expected a perfumed indifference, but her gaze swept the room with an unsettling directness. "You've all been waiting a long time," she said. "No platitudes. Let me show you why." She tapped her tablet, and a map projected onto the wall. Their river basin. Once thick with forest, now patchwork with coffee and cotton plantations. 40 years ago, rain soaked into the land here. She touched the map, green faded to tan. Now, it races straight to your doorsteps. We have to dig deeper wells. My friends, the water table is collapsing. And the floods. She zoomed in on the satellite image. Their village, circled in red again and again. Adebayo's chest tightened. He'd known this in fragments. The way the earth cracked like parched tongue in dry season. How the floods came faster now, violent and sudden. But seeing it laid bare, calculated, made it real in a new way. The West mined their land until it turned to dust, the rep continued. We've been repeating their mistake, but we don't have to keep doing so. She swiped to a new image. Seedlings clustered on slopes, their roots knitting the soil into a sponge. We're reclaiming the watershed, and we would like your hands. Uchehi crossed his arms. You want us to farm trees instead of food. I want you to have both. She handed out flyers, meetup dates, soil training workshops. The city can't fix this issue alone, but we can together. Adebayo stared at the paper. His grandfather had told him stories of the old forest, how their leaves whispered warnings before the rains came. Maybe this was how the land remembered itself. As the crowd dispersed, Uchehi lingered. You believe her? Adebayo folded the flyer into his pocket. I believe my back hurts from carrying the sandbags every year. He turned to the clerk, who was typing with his mechanical clicks. Thank you, he said, for your patience earlier. The clerk blinked, then gave a tight nod. 3 weeks later, the first meetup was held on scarred hillside where loggers had left slumps like broken teeth. Adebayo brought his sons and a borrowed pickaxe. The mayor's rep, her name was Jiro, handed him a seedling. Acacia, she said. Its roots hold the soil. Its leaves feed the goats. As he knelt, digging into the cracked earth, his youngest son, Niyi, crouched beside him. Why are we doing this, Baba? Adebayo pressed the roots into the hole. Because the land is tired, he said, and so am I. Around them, dozens of villagers set to the same task. Uchehi grumbled about his bad knee but planted the trees. The women from the downstream village sang as they worked, their voices weaving with the wind. That night rain fell hard. Adebayo lay awake, waiting for the flood's roar, but the river only sighed, its banks holding firm, for now.